Master this one single skill and you'll become a millionaire. And I guarantee it. Sounds like a hype? Maybe. But stick with me for 10 seconds. This isn't a gimmick or a clickbait. It is a wake-up call. If you lack this single skill, you'll fail. But if you master it, long-term success and wealth are practically inevitable. This skill I'm talking about is more important than an IQ, talent, or any groundbreaking idea. In fact, research shows self-discipline is a stronger predictor of success than intelligence. Yes, discipline, the unsexy, often overlooked habit of doing what needs to be done, is the make or break factor. Don't believe me? By the end of this video, you will. And why should you listen to me? Well, I've spent the last 15 years in business building multiple successful ventures from ground up. I've been through the grind from scrubbing the floors in a cleaning startup I founded to scaling multiple companies and getting awards from the state, SBA's 2023 Minority Small Business Person Award of the Year, including writing a book, as well as buying real estate, both commercial and residential, and now building and scaling a software as a service business. And I'm not a one-hit wonder or a flashy guru. I'm a regular entrepreneur who's bled, sweat, and persisted through every challenge. And when I talk about what creates long-term success, it is not theory, it is real experience. I've lived it. I've watched peers rise and fall, and I've distilled what actually works versus what just motivational fluff. So trust me when I say I know why some people make it and others don't. So let's address the hard truth. Most people fail not because they lack ideas or talent, but because they lack discipline. Think about it. How many folks that you know who start the year pumped with inspiration only to fizzle out by what? Month of February? Well, we all see that. In one study, only about 4.7% of people stuck to their New Year's resolution in a year. Over 95% couldn't keep promises to themselves for just the 12th month. And why? It's not a shortage of goals or dreams, and we have a lot of them. And sometimes, unfortunately, we take them with us to the grave without doing any action with them, or just see somebody else coming up with the same idea and rocking this. And we're like, oh my God, I could have done this. I had this idea. But the real trouble is the lack of consistent action after the initial motivation fades. As one viral post put in, and I've seen it somewhere, it was something like, the motivation is a spark, it gets you started, but the true progress happens when the excitement fades, because discipline is what gets you going. The reality is, motivation is fickle. It is easy to feel motivated when you're watching a pumped up YouTube montage at 2 a.m. or reading an inspiring quote on Instagram, but motivation wanes when you are tired, when things get wrong, or when results don't come fast. Most people wait to feel inspired again before they act. And that is why most people never reach their goals. In fact, 96% of people who failed to achieve success admitted it was due to lack of effort, not lack of ability. Let that simmer in. They know deep down it wasn't a shortage of skill or ideas that stopped them. It was not putting in the work consistently. Ideas, inspiration, motivation, those are all sparks. But discipline is the furnace that keeps the fire going after the spark dies out. So, what is discipline really? It's doing what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like or not. It's showing up day in and day out, especially in those days you least want them. It's more than just waking up at 5 a.m. Though that's a great start actually. And I'll be blank and honest about it because I struggle myself because my wake up time is 6:10. It's about actually showing up when no one else will, doing the tedious work, making through decisions, and pushing forward on the hard days. Discipline means consistency. It means you don't skip the grind. If you're supposed to post a marketing video every Friday, you literally post a marketing video every Friday, not just when you are inspired. If you need to make 10 sales calls a day, you actually make them, even if you get rejected 9 times in a row and your ego is now busted. Here is the kicker. Discipline unlocks everything else. It is the master key. You might have the best business idea in the world, but without a discipline to execute it relentlessly, that idea will die. On the flip side, even a mediocre idea can succeed wildly with enough discipline behind it. Don't just take my word for it. Look at the evidence. In one study of successful people, 72% said the biggest factor in their success was developing specific habits over time. In other words, a fancy word for routine discipline. Account for nearly 3/4 of what makes people achieve their goals. Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformation. As James Clear writes in Atomic Habits, amazing book, by the way, recommend reading it if you haven't done so. Even academically, discipline beats out talent. If you think about it, psychologists found that students' self-discipline predicted their outcome more than their IQ did. Think about that. The honor students weren't just the smart kids. They were the ones who consistently did their homework, studied, and showed up. Likewise, in business, the successful entrepreneur isn't always the genius with 100 IQ or the most original idea. Often, it is the one who overworked and outlasted everyone else. The one who kept selling when others got discouraged, who kept improving the product when others settled, who kept saving money when others splurged. Discipline is the great equalizer. It is available to anyone, regardless of background or natural gift. It is insanely powerful. And here's the deep insight. Discipline breeds freedom. It sounds ironic, but that is actually a truth. And as a former Navy SEAL, Jocko Willink says, the only way to get to a place of freedom is through discipline. If you discipline yourself to build a profitable business, you gain financial freedom for life. If you discipline yourself to stay healthy, you gain years of freedom in good health. Freedom is what everybody wants, but discipline is how you get it. Think about it. By doing what is hard and necessary now, you create a future where you can do what you want later. Pay the price of discipline today so you can enjoy the reward of freedom tomorrow. Let's do the real world examples for discipline in action. Suppose you run a small cleaning business, and I know many of you do. You have 2 employees and a handful of clients. How does discipline make you a millionaire here? Picture 2 cleaning business owners, owner A and owner B. Owner A treats it like a hobby. They clean well when they feel motivated, but on some days they show up late to client appointments because they overslept. They do a rush job when they are not in the mood, maybe skip marketing this week because it just didn't feel inspired to make flyers. They're winging it, driven by the mood. Now, let's take owner B, who treats it like a mission. They never miss 7 a.m. appointment, even if it means waking up at 5 a.m. to prep for that. They have a daily checklist to follow rigorously. Every toilet gets scrubbed thoroughly, every surface wiped spotless, every client follow-up call made on schedule, even on days when business is slow. Owner B spends the afternoon handing out flyers door to door or perfecting their website instead of saying, no bookings, I'll take it easy. After a year, who's ahead? Owner B by a mile. Clients trust them because they are reliable. The quality of work is consistent, so referrals start rolling in. Owner B's cleaning services stands out not because cleaning is revolutionary. It's actually not, and you know that, but because their consistency and professionalism are so rare in this space. And how about owner A? Meanwhile, lost a couple of clients due to no-shows and sloppy delays, and they've plateaued. Owner B is now hiring more cleaners to meet the demand. After 5 years, owner B might have a thriving team and be making 6 figures on their way to a millionaire status. And how about the owner A is likely out of business? This isn't a fantasy. This is the brutal reality of small business. And in fact, only about 50% of small businesses survive beyond 5 years, and just 25% make it to year 15. The ones that survive, well, you can bet their owners were more like owner B, disciplined, persistent, showing up every single day. Because luck and talent alone can't sustain you for a decade because it's just a spark. I've lived a version of the story though. In my early days running a cleaning venture, I remember mornings scrubbing the floors at 6 a.m. when my friends were sleeping off a late night. I remember forcing myself to burning midnight oil to get the leads, to create that website, to add additional page, to create a contact, or getting a quote after quote even after countless rejections in a row from those consumers, thinking if I would ever pull this off, or shall I go back to my previous employer, who is the awesome people by the way. Well, I kept a promise to myself. I wanted to do something every day to push the business forward, no matter how small. Many of my competitors were a one-man shows or daydreamers who treated it casually. They take days off whenever they feel like, or spend money on things they didn't need just to have the feeling of a self-made business owner. I though decided I wouldn't take a day off until I had a stable base of customers. And besides, not like this country is going to let you, because bills keep coming, right? Rolling back to back. But was it easy? No, it was brutal. Sometimes, most of the times, but within 2 years, my little company had more contracts than I could handle. And I started hiring staff. By year 5, we dominated our local niche. That's the power of a discipline. Showing up on the days no one else does. When others hit that snooze button, you're waking up and making things happen. While others make excuses, you make progress. Over time, that gap in effort becomes a chasm in results. You don't have to take it from me alone though. The importance of discipline is echoed by many of the top successful frameworks and books out there. They might use different words, but at their core, they celebrate consistent action and habits. And here are a few famous ones and how they reinforce our messaging. Atomic Habits by James Clear preaches that tiny daily habits lead to remarkable results. Clear writes that the habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Do something 1% better every day and it compounds. His philosophy is basically disciplined consistency packaged in a habit forming. And in translation, you win by doing small, disciplined actions day after day, not by sporadic bursts of inspiration. Here's another book. The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma emphasizes rising early and following a morning routine of exercise, reflection, and growth. And why 5 a.m. you would ask? Because it takes discipline to beat the pillow and seize the day before distraction hits. And Sharma says, ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary feats once they routinize the right habits. Waking up at 5 a.m. itself won't magically make you rich though, let's be honest. But the self-control and extra productivity hours you gain each morning give you a massive advantage. It's the principle of controlling your day rather than letting your day to control you. Here's the next book by Seth Godin, Purple Cow. It's a marketing book about being remarkably and standing out. You might wonder, what does this book have to do with a discipline? Well, coming up with a remarkable idea is one thing, but consistently deliver a remarkable service or a product requires now what? Discipline. And Godin's concept teaches innovation and uniqueness, but it's useless if you don't execute consistently. A purple cow that only shows up occasionally won't be remembered. You need to show up every time with quality and uniqueness, so discipline turns a cool idea into a lasting brand. Here's another one. Blue Ocean Strategy by Chad and Renee teaches you to find untapped markets. Those are called blue oceans instead of competing head to head in saturated markets. Identifying a blue ocean opportunity takes what? Creativity, but capitalizing on it takes what? Discipline. When you are not directly competing, you must discipline yourself to keep innovating and adding value because there is no playbook to copy. And this particular framework implicitly demands a disciplined focus on long-term strategy and not getting complacent. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is by Stephen Covey. Covey's habits include be proactive, put first things first, etc. All of which boils down to personal discipline. Being proactive means taking initiative consistently instead of procrastinating. Putting first things first is literally about disciplining your time to prioritize important tasks over the distractions. And Covey's highly effective people build routines and stick to principles. Again, that's discipline. None of the 7 habits work if you do them only sometimes or occasionally. They only yield results when practiced habitually. And there's that word again. See the pattern. Every respected successful framework out there, from productivity to marketing, has an undercurrent of discipline. This is the engine that actually drives the fancy strategies. As the entrepreneur and author Robin Sharma put it, your days are your life in miniature. How you spend each day, those small disciplines of small indulgences will stack up on your life's outcomes. Now, I'd like to take a moment and share a personal framework that ties it all together, and you'll see how it all comes together nicely. I call it GREED, and you're correct. It's spelled G-R-E-E-D. And no, I'm not telling you to become some sort of evil, greedy villain. Think of GREED as an acronym for the traits that you will need. G stands for goals. R is for relentless passion. E is for everyday discipline. The next E stands for embracing acceptance, embracing failure and no's. And then the last one is D for developing and adapting. And these 5 elements, when channeled correctly, feed off one another and virtually guarantee your success. First G stands for goals. Have a goal. Don't have to be exact, like meaning detailed out, but you want something. You have to have something attainable. For an example, I want to become a doctor. I want to become an attorney. I want to become an entrepreneur. That was my case. I didn't know how I would get there, but I just knew that I would wanted to become an entrepreneur. R stands for relentless passion, which now becomes a burning desire. If you have read Think and Rich Grow by Napoleon Hill, you know that burning passion is a secret sauce for attaining literally everything you want in your life. And this is, in this case, you literally programming your mind to think day and night about what you want, because see, your goal, it becomes the relentless passion, because you're just gonna have this fever. Now you're gonna want this so badly that it's inside of you. You day and night, you dream about it, and you put out to the ethers what you want, and then at some point your subconscious mind is going to pick it up. And as they say, when your why is strong enough, how will reveal itself. And that's what we want to do. We want to get to the point when you're obsessed with your goal. And then what you do from there is you develop an everyday discipline. Show up, dress up, be there. Ideas are quite frankly worthless without execution. Execution means taking action and implementing it consistently. It is the discipline of finishing what you start and doing it well. A plan on paper doesn't make you money. Executing the plan does. Focus on getting things done, not getting them perfect. Therefore, show up, dress up. I was like literally would wake up and my office was in the basement. So after brushing my teeth and whatnot, getting myself ready, morning rituals, etc., I would put a shirt on, a collared shirt on, so I would feel that I'm going to work. Then I would go to my basement, show up every single day. And then what happens then, now that you started and you disciplined yourself, you don't want to procrastinate it. You want to start right away, because what you're doing now, you're going to embrace acceptance. Now you know you're starting something knowing that you'll likely fail, and that's quite all right, and that you will hear a lot of no's along the way, and that is guaranteed as well. But you don't want to procrastinate, and you want to start, because remember, progress over perfection. So by procrastinating, what you're doing is actually you're pushing your better life to a further. So for example, if you were to start tomorrow, not today, right? Then whatever you're going to your destination, you're just gonna get there one day later. If you start a month from now, you're gonna get this a month from now. If you start a year from now, you get the idea, right? So start now. As the Chinese proverb goes, the best time to plant a tree was when? 10 years ago. When is the next good time to plant a tree? It is now. So go ahead and do it and plant it now. And then the last D stands for developing and adapting. Because what you want to do is you want to become a consistent lifelong learning. So learner, you're going to commit to this. And I know Lifeline might seem like tremendous, but you will love this. Believe me, you just need to get started. And then you also know that you will receive punches along the way. And when you receive the punches, some of them will knock you down on your back. And then what? You will get up. Yes, resilience is important, no doubt there. But what's stupid is to get up and see the same punch coming in and taking it, because then it'll put you on your back again. That now becomes stupid. Fool me once, right? Fool you twice. So what you want to do is now you want to get up and learn from the mistakes you've done. So as you can see, start, fail, experience pain, which is the greatest teacher. Or you could, if you want to avoid it, if you're smart, like way smarter than me, you might bring in a partner who's experienced. You might bring in a motivated person who is willing to show you the experience. Somebody who went through this before, right? You might want to get a coach. But if not, and you like me, more power to you, or less, I don't know. You're just gonna have that pain, which will now give you the experience, something that you cannot buy, right? Only someone else can bring it, or yourself. But now what it does, it gives you an ability to recognize patterns. And now that becomes your superpower, because by recognizing patterns, you're now equipping yourself with a binocular, and now you can see from further ahead what's about to come. So then your mind says, last time I didn't move, it hurt, so therefore I better do something else, right? Duck, move, learn, and this is your superpower. This is how you start. So yes, I'm telling you to embrace greed. Be greedy about your success, in a sense that you hunger for growth and results so much that you're willing to do what other 99% of people want. Society often says greed is bad, and sure, selfish, unethical greed is bad. But greed I'm talking about is different. It's the fire in the belly that won't let you settle for mediocrity. It's the ambition with integrity and discipline. Being a little greedy about your goals means you won't let temporary comfort of other people or their opinions to derail you. You want it, and you're going to work for it relentlessly. And when you channel that drive through discipline, it is game over. You just succeeded. Hard days show up anyways. Now let's drill this in. Discipline isn't about the easy routines like morning smoothie or writing in your journal. It's about what you do on the hardest day. Anyone can be disciplined on a good day when the sun is shining, you slept well, and sales are literally pouring in. But what about when you wake up and everything aches? When your business is in a slump and you feel like an imposter? When that big client you were counting on cancels the contract? Those days actually define you. You build on those days. The successful keep showing up precisely because they decided in advance to do so no matter what. Imagine it's pouring rain, you've got a bad headache, and you're supposed to go flyer neighborhoods to promote your cleaning services. Discipline in this case is when you still put on your coat, tape a smile on your face, and get out there soaking shoes and all. It's when you have 0 clients booked today, but you still spend the day improving your website, refining your services, learning a new marketing trick instead of binge watching Netflix out of a despair. It's when you're exhausted at 10 p.m., but you promised the client an estimate by midnight. So you brew some coffee and get it done. Nobody sees those moments. No one is clapping for you when you choose to work over play, or when you stay late to make sure the job is perfect. But these are the moments that build empires. Successful people are simply willing to do what unsuccessful people will not. Otherwise, if it would be easy, everybody else would do it, right? And usually the things unsuccessful people won't do are those that are uncomfortable and boring, tasks that require you guessing it, discipline. If you ingrain the habit of showing up no matter what, you become unstoppable. You become the person who can't be outworked. Your competition might have more money, more connections, even more talent, but you have the more discipline. You'll outlast them and eventually outshine them. Business, especially a small business, is as such a mental game as it's a numbers game. When you keep pushing on hard days, you send yourself a powerful message. I do not quit. That builds unshakable confidence. And guess what? Confidence attracts success. Clients, partners, and investors are drawn to entrepreneurs who exude that quiet confidence and reliability. They know this person will get it done no matter what. Come hell or high water. Be that person. And don't forget, take an action, because your future self is waiting. At this point, you're either feeling fired up or a bit uncomfortable. And that's quite all right. Fired up means you're ready to take some changes. Uncomfortable means something I said in this truth you may be avoiding. Either way though, recognize it and use it. Now, I am going to challenge you to take an action. Listening is easy. Doing is what matters now. First, a quick reality check. Will mastering discipline really make you a millionaire overnight? Of course not. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's a get rich for sure scheme with time. Discipline is the long game, but it is the winning game. And if you commit to it truly, like honestly, commit to it, wealth will come as a byproduct of the value and consistency you create and deliver. I've seen it in my life in countless success stories, but stop waiting for the perfect moment or until you feel ready. Newsflash, you'll actually never feel 100% ready. Start now and get better as you go. Here's my call to action to you, and it's only for those who are truly serious about leveling up. I'm offering a limited number of paid consultations. So far, they're only on Fridays and they are one-on-one, and my calendar is booking up fast because I have a ton of other things to do. But I really enjoy when I see these entrepreneurs firing up, starting businesses, and most importantly, sticking to it, learning together, growing together, hiring the first employee, getting the first paid vacation, paying for the first mortgage. It's just so mesmerizing. It's amazing. My heart fills up. So if you want to take an action, then book a call. Go to ansimpact.com and book one-on-one consultation. I also have a ton of free resources there, because when you book a call with me, yes, for my time, you'd have to pay, because I'm literally like focusing on your problem, right? We're making sure you move, you take an action, you stick to it, you adapt, you improve, you make things happen. But under the resources, I've got lots of templates for you. There's a shopping cart for you as well. There's a link to Amazon, which you can buy products should you decide to open a cleaning business, for example. And if you can hear it, then it is your opportunity knocking it right now. So answer it. Whether or not you take me up on that, I want you to do one thing today. Decide on the discipline, action, and do it today, not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. It could be small. Call that one client you've been avoiding. Draft the outline of the business plan. Set your alarm for 5 a.m. tomorrow and actually get up when it rings, and do not snooze. Snooze is the worst thing you can do to yourself and to your mindset and to your future self. It is horrible. Show yourself that you mean business. Remember, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. This is another gem from the Atomic Habits. Cast votes for future millionaire you by acting like them now. I'll leave you with this powerful truth. The distance between you and the life you want is measured in discipline. Every mistake, every excuse, every time you give it laziness, that dream drifts further and further and further and further. Every day you show up, push forward, and stick to the plan, it moves closer, closer, and closer. You have the power to close that gap. It's not the economy, not the president, not the latest algorithm, or the sacred marketing trick. It's you, my friend. Your confidence, your discipline. So are you going to be like everyone else and hit the pause when things get tough? Or are you going to be the disciplined outlier who keeps going and gets the reward? The choice is yours, my friend. Master discipline, and I guarantee you, the millionaire future you want will become your reality. Now, stop watching and go make it happen. Your future self is already thanking you for it. I'll see you inside of this video right after you subscribe. Bye for now.